Hello and welcome, this is Rooflemonger, and my friends, in this edition of Let's Learn Dragon Ball FighterZ, I'm going to be showing you how to use Broly to set up the Ginyu body swap off basically anything, and heck, Broly doesn't even have to be tagged in to do it. Now, to put this out here briefly, I actually came up with this technique quite some months ago and showcased it in the Captain Ginyu Tips and Tricks guide me and Lex Luthor worked on, but I guess not a lot of people saw that because this is getting out there again and people acting like this is brand new when it isn't. So hopefully let's just take another swing at bat and let's show you what it is all about. Now, this whole setup is entirely predicated on two things. One, you will need Broly. This is specifically Dragon Ball Z Broly, not Dragon Ball Super Broly. And obviously the body swap, you will need Ginyu. Now, the bulk of the work is on Broly, and it is all about Broly's, well, I don't want to call it bug super because it's been around since Broly's launched, but it's all around his level 1 super and getting a very specific height so it'll whiff, causing a float state. And I'll just show you what that's all about right now. Alright, so before it connects, as you can see here now, just a big old float, right? Really weird. This is kind of how it always worked, actually, if you were not aware. So you just got to get him up at a very specific height and DHC out before Broly connects, and then as long as the other super did not connect, they just have this really weird float state. And you can kind of do whatever you want with it. Like, if you want to be tricky and if you have a faster super and get there in time, you can like kind of pressure them, like tap them in the float state, then pressure them afterwards, all that kind of stuff. There's a million things you can do with it, you know, if you're willing to spend the bar. And yeah, so this is what sets up everything. So I want to show you just how easy this setup is, right? So I don't even need to start with Broly. I don't need Broly to initiate this whole setup. I'll just be Goku, plain old Super Saiyan Goku, doing a very plain old setup, and we're going to get this off here, and by the end of it, we're going to be playing as GT Goku. And hey, wouldn't you know it? We started with Super Saiyan Goku, and now I'm GT Goku. Yeah, look at that. Pretty cool, huh? And of course, you get the enemy just left with, you know, the busted, hurt Ginyu that can't do anything, and that's kind of the core of the setup. We're going to go into more detail, sure, but that's the gist of it. Now, yeah, you're probably noticing the one thing of the setup here. Yes, it does indeed take 5 bars. That part, well, it just is what it is, right? You gotta call Broly, you gotta call Ginyu and miss, and obviously it takes 3 bars to do a body change, right? So it's not a cheap setup, but it is a setup, once again, as we showed at the very start. You don't even need to be Broly to start. If you are Broly, that's great, right? A little bit easier, but you don't have to be Broly at all. But if you do have the 5 bars, saddling them with the broken old Ginyu that can't do anything, that's already damaged, I think that's well worth it. And you don't have to be in the corner at all to set this up here. And if you want to spend even more than 5 bars, you can get a bit more adventurous as well. So let me show you a few more setups. So first up here, just so you know how to call Broly and do a super by itself, if you're not already aware. Off any hit, you can cancel that hit not into a special move, but into a tag super. So all you have to do is half circle forward, so back to down to forward like this. Cancel your hit into that, into your super of choice, and you call them in place. So when I say other characters can let you do this anywhere on the screen, not just the corner, I think Jiren's a fantastic example. And we're going to handicap ourselves even further. We're not going to just start with a regular old combo. What we're going to do here is we're going to super dash our way in and then convert from there. So a body swap off a plain Jane super dash. So yeah, that's in the corner off a plain Jane super dash, the most basic form of offense in this game, right? What makes this work for Jiren specifically, his jump M, the elbows, it's 2 hits, so it holds them long enough in place for you to Z-change in the Broly and then go from there. So that's really helpful, and of course then you call Ginyu whiff and body change from there. But yeah, so off a super dash, if you were to run this exact specific team, off a basic super dash, you can always threaten a body change, no matter what, and I think that's pretty crazy. And another example here, as long as you have any super that launches people upwards after the initial hit, then you can do it just as easily. It doesn't really matter where you are on the screen. And Bob's your uncle, that easy. So yes, it takes an additional bar, so 5 bars is already pretty expensive, 6 all the more yet. But once again, it's just about enabling the ease of this, right? Any touch becomes a body swap. Any touch leaves them with an old broken Ginyu, and you with a semi-broken but better character. And those are just a few examples. You could find examples for basically any team combination. As long as you have Ginyu and Broly, add any other third character in the mix, and you will find a way for them to set it up. Some will be a little bit easier than others. The Jiren example I showed is so easy. All you have to do is hit him with jump medium, you got it. Even off a super dash, some are a little harder, but that's the general strength of this. Yes, it's bar hungry technique, 100%, 100%. But it's worth the bar, in my opinion, to set it up if you can get it, right? The shock of being given a broken Ginyu is always unpleasant, to say the least, right? And sometimes, you know, you can burn all 5 of those bars on damage or whatever, and you still won't kill a character. And, you know, in this situation, I say, why not? At the very least, give it a shot. So, my friends, that is how you force a Ginyu change with Dragon Ball Super Broly off anything. And with that, I guess that's the end of this video. So, hey, thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. Go out and play some Dragon Ball.